The Solo Show is brought to you by Victor Naraki Realtor, serving Disney and the greater Orlando area with celebratingflorida.com and disneyatyourdoorstep.com. Victor Naraki would like to take this opportunity to thank all of his clients and customers for their support throughout the past year. Victor would like to remind all of you that this is the time for family and friends to come together and celebrate this joyful season in whatever form it takes for you and your loved ones. Be kind to each other in this festive season and the new year ahead. On behalf of the Solo Show and Victor Naraki, all the best for the holidays, and here's a wish for a safe, healthy, and happy new year.
Bored of your ordinary life?
Yes, sir.
Want to do something exciting?
Like what?
Join Wim, Fern, KB, Neil, and Jod.
It's me.
They call themselves Skeleton Crew. They've stumbled on something legendary, but they're not alone.
Follow me and watch where you step.
Join the adventure in Skeleton Crew on Disney+.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Solo Show. I am Stan Solo as always, and today we are previewing or reviewing or chatting about giving our roundtable discussion of Skeleton Crew episode 4.
Can't say I remember no at it.
I can't remember though at-atin. And joining us today on the roundtable discussion, back from last week, Scott Clark. Welcome, Scott, and how are you today, my friend? And what were your thoughts on Skeleton Crew spoiler-free episode 4?
I'm doing good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. Just when you're starting to get answers, they make you wait.
Yes, they're very good at that on these streaming shows. They make you wait a lot. I know a lot of people, like guys at work that are fairly decent Star Wars fans, are saying, you know what, I'm just tired of waiting. I'm just going to wait until it all is there and just binge it. I had a few people tell me that. I can't wait. I'm there like right as soon as it drops, I'm watching it. How about you, Patrick? What are your thoughts on this one? And do you wait?
No, I watch it as quickly as I can. No, I really enjoyed it. Again, I agree with you guys though. I'm waiting too much sometimes. Like the whole plot of this particular episode, I didn't really care. As soon as we landed and saw what was going on, okay, let's get the heck out of Dodge. Like, okay, but
yeah. You know they're not going to stay here very long.
I think once they realized that wasn't their home planet,
hang on,
like, all right, time to move on.
Spoiler free here. Let's keep spoiler free here until we play our ad. Exactly. This really reminds me of. I'm not sure if you guys watched it or not, but do you guys watch Lost when it first aired or at all?
No, I've never watched it.
Oh, Lost was like one of my favorite all-time TV shows, but man, did they string you along. And that's what
I tried watching it a little bit. It felt like a writer's room improv game of you say 5 words and the next person says and says another 5 words, and then the next writer says and they say another 5 words, because that's what each episode. It was so all over the place with the twists and turns that I essentially got confused and turned it off.
You got confused. You're the guy that's into all this big stories, grand stuff like Lord of the Rings and Dungeons and Dragons and all those type of things. I thought you would be right into it. But yeah, no, you're right. It was like that. It was like, but every episode it'd be like they're on this tropical island and then all of a sudden there's a polar bear and it ends. Well, where did this polar bear come from?
And the guy that came on in a wheelchair all of a sudden can walk.
Yeah, exactly. And then all of a sudden they find a hatch and they're digging. There's a hatch there and they open it up and there's stuff inside. Like, I
don't mind, going a couple episodes with cliffhangers and holding you on, but I'm generally watching a show and I want the answers towards the end of the show. It's like going to the movies, and you generally, after seeing the movie, about an hour and a half into it, they're starting to come with the conclusion and the answers and this and that. You're not waiting, so
at this point, we're halfway through the season. I'm assuming there's not going to be a season 2, or they say that they could do a season 2, but there wasn't plans for one. Everything wraps up in the seasons, which is good to know that we're not going to be left with dangling strings. Everything should wrap up in a nice little bow. But at the halfway point, do we have more mysteries than we do answers, Patrick?
I don't think we have more mysteries. I think we have 1 or 2 main mysteries, and they keep stringing us along a little bit. To be honest, I think this one episode could have been about a 5-minute segment. I didn't dislike what I saw, but it seemed very much like they were stretching it out. So I think there's just a couple of big questions and mysteries, and they're just like giving you breadcrumbs along the way.
Yeah, we're following a trail of breadcrumbs. That's exactly
Agreed.
what it is. Yeah. Alrighty, we're going to get into spoilers, but before that, we're going to hear from Cody. He's going to talk about. Oh, hang on, Patrick. You were on What's the Boss last week. That's why you weren't here.
Who's the boss? Yes.
Who's the boss? Yeah.
Laughing place. That was really fun. I met Mike, the host, Mike Celestino, at San Diego Comic-Con, and that was back in July, and plugged like, hey, I'd love to be on your show. And so it just turned out that it was this episode, and it just turned out that we were recording, or you guys recorded on the same day at the same time.
Yeah, I seem to recall you saying, screw you, Stan, I'm going on the other podcast. That's what I seem to recall. If I were to quote you, that's how it was.
Yeah, all right, those would be the words that come out of my mouth.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah, exactly. All righty, let's hear from Cody, and then we'll be right back with the spoiler section.
Now a message from Cody's Inner Dialogue. Hey, Cody. Yeah, what's up, Inner Dialogue? Stan is giving you another chance to promote your book on the solo show. Yeah, I know. I guess you didn't mess it up too bad the first time. I didn't mess it up. You almost messed it up for me. But yeah, you're right. The pressure's on now. So I'm trying to write this promotion. What do you want? I got an idea. What? I know it's going to sell books. What's going to sell the books? Well, since they're talking about Skeleton Crew on the solo show, a lot of Star Wars fans are listening to the solo show, right? Yeah, I would presume so. So, my idea is you change the name of your book. Change the name of the book? Yeah, to Star Wars, Being a Fan of Disney, the book. No, we're not doing that. You can't. I'm not going to add that to the title of the book. Anyways, that's misleading. I mean that's borderline unethical. What's unethical? Yeah, it means you know you're not supposed to do something. You can't. I don't want to mislead anybody. Okay. You're not misleading anybody. Yeah, I feel like I would be if I added Star Wars to the title. No. I looked up how many times Star Wars is mentioned in the book. It's mentioned 38 times. I think that's a lot of the book. No, not really. I mean, the book is about all of my Disney fandom and all ranges of Disney fandom, not just Star Wars. It covers Marvel, the parks, animation, musicals. It covers everything. No, I'm not doing that. Inner Dialogue. That's a bad idea. Well, I guess promote it then. Being a Fan of Disney, the book is available on Amazon in paperback, hardback, Kindle, and Audible version. Please check it out. It's a really fun read, and I hope you enjoy it. Good luck selling books. Yeah, thanks, Inner Dialogue. Now back to the show, Stan.
All righty. Thank you, Cody. So be sure to check out Star Wars, Being a Fan of Disney, the podcast, the book. The podcast and the book. Anyways, that was funny. That was good. I like that.
That actually got me really... I laughed out loud. That was good.
All righty. So
into spoilers, right?
In the spoilers, yeah. So last week we left our heroes. They got the coordinates for At-Aten from Kim, and they took off into hyperspace. There's going to be easy peasy. Get to the planet, drop off the kids. Jod goes, looks for the treasure, becomes rich. He's happy. Everybody's happy, and that's what happens. They get to the planet. They start off. They're there. They're at At-Aten. Everything's awesome. They come in. There was a bit of problem with the planet took over the landing patterns. Is that
something?
common?
Yeah, there was an automatic landing sequence that was initiated. I don't know if that was their ship because it sensed the ground, or if it was the planet that did it. That wasn't clear to me. Even on my second watch, I didn't quite understand, because I remember 33 said, "Would you like me to switch off the autopilot?"
Yeah. So he takes over the controls and he lands. So is that what happened on At-Aten? Did the ship go into auto engage and just crash? I mean, it flew pretty fine afterwards.
If I had to guess, I thought it was the planet that was trying to guide him in.
That's
like
what I kind of
like it took it over. Like there's some type of like AI or something.
Like a tractor beam bringing him in.
Yeah,
maybe. Maybe. I mean, that actually does fit my theory for what's going on At-Aten.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Jod says was it Ronald's ghost? I can't believe it. It's At-Atten, which was Ronald's is Donner's spelt backwards, which of course Richard Donners was a director of the Goonies. So that was a little quick Easter egg right off the hop there. I saw that and I'm running, who the heck is Ronner's ghost? I think it was a pirate reference. So I kind of looked around and found out somebody else already posted it, of course, that Donner's backwards.
Well, that's one I missed for sure.
On who?
Well, just that little Easter egg. That one I missed for sure.
Yeah. So they see these houses and they're like, yeah, there's our home. There's our houses. That's our town. They just, I love how Star Wars, you get this entire planet and they always come in right where they want to be. Like, that's our town right there. It's like, there's Tatooine. That's, so yeah. And then I like a win and he's like, oh, just when things were getting fun. Like he's all... everyone's all excited having
such a disappointed child.
Yeah, he wants the adventure.
Yeah.
So they get off the ship and they fairly quickly realize that this isn't At-Atten. There's something different about the ship, this planet. One thing, the air tastes like dust and sulfur and smoke.
Yeah. And this is where we get one of my favorite lines I've ever heard in a Star Wars ever. Going into babysitting mode.
Oh yeah,
come on, baby.
Well,
let's go, baby.
And the funny thing, it wasn't about babysitting the kids either. It was about babysitting Jod.
Exactly.
Come on in the ship, baby.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So Deal sees something. He goes, "Hey, look, this isn't At-Atten. That doesn't make sense. Let's go." And they go to this house, and it took me to my third watch to catch this shot of the tree actually growing outside of the house. There's a tree, I guess, inside the houses in At-Atten. They have these ornamental trees that are growing inside homes. Well, this tree is so huge that it blew through the roof of the house, and you can see it on the outside of the house that the tree's growing through. Did you guys catch that?
I don't remember. I didn't go back and look at what the homes looked like in At-Atten with the tree. I need to go back and look at
on this planet. On this planet, the tree is bursting through the roof.
But I want to see what it looked like on At-Atten versus.
I think Neil even made a comment that they thought maybe they were in like hypersleep for a while, and then some time passed by because everything is overgrown.
Well, that's what I thought too at first. I was kind of thinking, well, maybe they time traveled. Like it's possible and start. That was my reaction.
Yeah, but you don't see that in the Star Wars universe, or we haven't yet.
No. Did you guys think it was At-Atten that they were at? How long did it take you before you clued in?
I thought it was too quick, like to be on At-Atten.
Yeah, as soon as the kids noticed the statue, and they were like, "What is this?" I was like, "Okay, yeah." So they're in a totally different place because they thought that this was their home, and they didn't have a statue of anyone like this. So, yeah.
But this planet's got to be a lot older than At-Atten for that tree to have grown that much.
What I think is going on there, at At-Atten, there's upkeep. They're taking care of it. They're doing all the maintenance to it. Now, on Akron, I believe, that's the planet's name, no one's taking care of everything. It's been through a war or whatever, destruction, and no one's taking care of it. So I think that's the two differences that I personally take out of it.
Do you guys know anything about Fallout, the series or the game?
Yeah. Yep. I watched the series, yeah.
So essentially, I'm thinking that At-Atten is Vault 33, and this place at Akron is, what was it, 32 that got wiped out or whatever. Essentially, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I think there's more to it than just that. But that's my theory as to what's different about these two places is that At-Atten, for some reason, has been this utopia, and people are working together. And I'll give away my theory. The droid, like the droid that's running the planet, the AI that's running that planet, continues to work.
Well, we don't know if it's a droid or if it's a hammerhead or if
that's my theory. My theory is that it's something like there was a series of episodes in the Clone Wars TV show where there was a general like droid, like one of the general droids of the droid army that didn't get the order that the war was over.
Oh, yeah.
And so it just kept fighting the war.
Kind of like these guys that were in the jungles of Vietnam 30 years after the war.
Yeah.
Right. That's my theory as to what's going on with AT-AT. And it's just keeping it up. It's just keeping it going.
Well, I kind of agree with you on that, Patrick. I think that might be the case. I think with that Akron, maybe the people revolted towards it. And at Atten, they're ho-hum and keeping on going.
Yeah, that's actually the exact same theory that I had as well. So we're all in agreement as to what we think is happening.
If we get it wrong, if it's not that,
it's all your fault, Patrick. It's all your fault, Patrick.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you brought it up first.
Yeah.
I like Wen picks up the piece of trash or picks it. Ooh, this is gross. And Neil, I don't think you should be touching that. this kid gets into everything.
Well, that's your typical kid touching, any little kid. Always getting into everything, touching everything. Next thing you're going to hear is, don't put that in your mouth.
Don't put that in your exactly.
Yeah. Well, so we should keep going with the story. So at this point, they step outside, and what's the name of the group that they meet?
Well, hang on. Before that, actually, Jad is on the ship going through their stuff, and he comes across the Imperial credits.
Yeah,
that's right.
And 33 catches him and thief, and pins him against the wall. And he goes, "Hang on! I'm a part of the crew. I'm Jad. I'm Jod. I'm supposed to be here."
And he has a little bit of his memory jogged about at Akron.
Yeah. And he says, at Akron is it Akron, Ohio? Is that where we're at here?
I think so.
It's spelled differently.
That's what I heard. What it looks like.
That's what I heard it looks like too. I've never been there, but I've seen pictures.
I actually, if I wouldn't have had the subtitles on, I wouldn't have known how it was spelled. But I wanted to see the Arbesh for each of the planets. I wanted to see that and pause it because I was going to start translating.
Did they show the Arbesh for the planets? I don't think they showed it.
The first one they did I can't remember the name of all of them. I can't remember the name of all of the different planets they mentioned, but there was one of them, the very first one that they found. The last two letters were OO, and I remember that just because it was easy for me to remember.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I liked how they're walking through this dust-infested planet. Neil's like blowing his trunk like an elephant, like that sound. He's trying to clear out his trunk. The little details that get me all the time. I always love those things. So that's when they come across that statue they don't recognize, and then all of a sudden there's a blaster fire that I think it hits the statue. The blaster fire.
I thought it was just a real big loud noise from somewhere, and they were looking around and they hid, and all of a sudden there was someone behind them.
Yeah, they all go hide, and KB just stands there like for a bit. She kind of tilts her head, and then Fern has to come and haul her away, which was kind of, what was that all about? Like, did she not have any self-defense mechanism to run away from a loud noise, or did she miss it? I don't know.
Or maybe her visor, that what she's wearing, is she didn't sense nothing, no blaster fire when everybody heard it.
Yeah, or maybe she was just studying that statue so much, or something that she wasn't paying attention to her surroundings.
Yeah.
So that's when they're discovered by that. What's her name? Hera or Hena?
Hena. Yeah, I think that's what it was.
So she's a bit older, eh? She's got to be like in her early teens, I'm guessing.
That's what I seem to guess. A little bit, a couple, 2 or 3 years older.
These kids are what? 10. 11? 10, 11?
10, yeah.
I'd guess that she's like 13. Yeah.
Yeah. So she's a little bit older than them. So she takes her back. Well, they got the whole scene with the army marching by, and they hide in that. It looks like the school bus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That we saw in episode 1 with the Rex droid powered down there. There is no droids on this planet other than that broken down Rex droid that I saw.
I didn't see any even broken down. Correct. Yeah.
Well, that just leads into more of the theory. Maybe there was an uproar with the people against the machines.
Yeah. Rise Against the Machines, and they take out all the droids.
I'm very interested as to when this may have happened, because some of those helmets looked very similar.
Yeah.
On both sides.
Yeah, they look like from Solo, eh?
Yeah.
So the New Hope era. But they are trading. They are trading mission like weapons with off-worlders.
Yeah, they did bring that up, so maybe they're getting some of that from.
So they could be helmets that they, that the rebels aren't using anymore that they're trading to get pelts. I don't know what the rebels need pelts for, or whoever it would be, whoever needs Ethiopian pelts. So anyway, so Hena brings them to their leader and her father, General Strikes. When her daughter introduces the kid, she says, "This is Fern," and Fern corrects her, saying "Captain Fern." And he right away stands up and he goes, "Captain Fern." So I thought he was going to say, "Do you have a ship?" But did you get that feeling too when he?
That's where I thought he was going.
That's exactly what I thought. But in saying, "Oh, so you're soldiers, you can help us in this war. This is great. We need you," and he accepts them very easily, I felt.
This was where I started to get a little weirded out with the episode. This is where I started to lose it. Like, adult interactions with children can get weird easy to me.
Yeah.
This one started to get weird. Like, what are you doing with these kids?
Well, we treat children like adults here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's creepy on its own right there.
Well, and that's the thing too, is you're not seeing a lot. You didn't see a lot of adults on there. I only seen maybe 2 or 3 adults, and everyone else was kids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It was very Lords of the Fly feeling.
But the whole time that the kids were there, I couldn't understand what this General Strick's motivation was. If it really was just to fight that other group on the planet, that's so almost naive and simplistic. Like, that can't be. So then, I don't know. There was something about it that just seemed off.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Too simple.
Like I thought maybe it was like a pickpocketing ring or something like that, because there's all these kids and one adult basically. I like Ren's comment about, "Hey, are you like kids against the adults on this planet? This is great. We could be in battles with adults." Like, he thought it was awesome because the other group is all adults pretty much, and aliens. They had a hammerhead, they had a Greedo, they had the big tanks.
I didn't notice. I didn't
pick up on that.
Yeah, they had that big a tank that was very similar to the tank in episode 1.
Yeah.
That battle droid tank. It was a hammerhead driving that
Ithorian.
Yeah. Anyways, they ask, "Hey, we just want to get home. We're looking for star charts. Have you heard of At-Aten? That's where we're trying to get to. Can you help us out?" And they go, "Well, there's the Fallen Sanctum. There's star charts there, but it's dangerous. You can't go there." So instead of them giving them directions and saying, "Oh, this is where you go," they're like, "Well, we'll take you there, but you have to prove that you're brave enough first." The whole thing was weird. Does that make sense?
Yeah, what I gathered out of that is like they were going to make him cannon fodder.
Oh yeah,
all right, you prove yourself, and we're going to put you on the front line.
Yeah. You 4 go ahead, and we'll hang back here and see how you do. That's exactly what happened. So yeah.
And then there was some stuff that happens with Jod back on the ship, right? Mm-hmm. Well, just right out. Well, yeah, no, it's just on the ship. Yeah.
Yeah, he's trying to jog his memories. Yeah, and he's saying, can you see treasure anywhere on this planet? I guess he's thinking maybe treasure on this planet too.
Yeah.
He's trying to jog his memories. You go, "Where is the treasure? Any idea where the treasure could be?" So Hena takes Neil to the roof while the kids are practicing their target shooting. And they go to the roof of the school, which we know is the school back on At-Aten. And he says, this is where they have like food and all that. And she shows him this big gun. Yeah. Now, this gun doesn't come in play in this episode at all. So I'm assuming this gun is going to come in play at some point. Now, I guess my question is this gun going to come in play, or do they have the exact same gun at At-Aten? And
that's what I think
is going to come into play.
I think that's what it's going to be.
You think it's going to be?
It's going to come in play when they get back to At-Aten?
That's what I think, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I want to see them get off this planet. Like,
yeah. I got a feeling
on to the next.
They're going to get back to At-Aten, and the pirates are going to be coming, or the X-Wing pilots are going to be coming, or somebody's going to be coming, and Neil's going to be, "Hey, I know where there's a good weapon. It's on the roof of the school. All you got to do is turn this dial."
Yeah.
So can I get into a little bit of my overarching theory at this point?
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think that the cannon on the roof will come into play to defend against the pirates that are going to follow them back to At-Aten. The X-Wing pilots are going to help in the defense of At-Aten, but the New Republic is now going to be fully made aware.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, the First Order is beginning to rise up within from the New Republic. And I think my big out there theory is that the money from this is what's going to really start to fund the First Order. Someone very nefarious is going to be put in charge of taking all of At-Aten, quantifying it, and then integrating it into the New Republic, and that's going to get funneled to the First Order. That's my guess.
Oh,
To
okay.
have them finance the First Order.
Yep.
Could be.
I
That's
can see
my
that.
that's my big theory, but that's also pie in the sky at this point. We're only halfway through. Come on.
Yeah. So at this point, they it's time to go into battle. I mean, they had some fun jokes at the target practice with Ren turning the cannon to 11, or that one laser to 11 and shooting across the floor, and JB's as Mark Smith.
KB is a good shot.
Yeah.
Yeah. So General Strix puts the kids in the front line, and turns out then they see Jod coming towards them, and the Huttons stole the Eopes from the Thorax.
Troik.
The which?
The Troik.
The Troiks. Yeah. And
how much more Hatfields and McCoys can you get?
Yeah. No kidding. That's a good analogy.
The Hattons and the Troiks.
Yeah, exactly. And so it's a fairly tense situation, and then they start seeing somebody coming towards them, and instead of them shooting at them, like you can, and they were yelling, "What flag do you fly?" or "What banner do you fly?" Was it "What flag do you fly?" or "What banner do you fly?"
What flag do you fly?
What flag do you fly? It's Jod and 33 coming out of the smoke, and they have all the Eopes with them. It turns out he stole the credits and bought the Eopes and saved the day.
Yeah.
So Hena offers to take them to the Sanctum, or Fallen Sanctum. So her, the kids, and the SM-33 head out. And it turns out the Fallen Sanctum in the At-Aten planet is the tower of the supervisor, which nobody's allowed to visit. No one's allowed to go up into the tower. And when they get that elevator going, KB gets the elevator going, you can see Ren all of the kids are I don't think any of them been on an elevator before. They were kind of surprised. They were more surprised with the elevator than they were about the paper first time they ever saw paper last week.
Yeah, they take lots of buses and trams, and there's stairs, but there's no lifts. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Ren in particular, he was really crouching down. You could tell he was nervous about being in the elevator. There was stuff falling off there's rocks falling off the ceiling and that too. So looking for the map to At-Aten, and Ren finds something on the wall, and it's at Ayutu, is it Aytoo?
Yep.
Along with the galactic coordinates to get there, because Jod says, "Hey, those are galactic coordinates to get to that planet." So
now I do have a question.
Yep.
Do you think they're gonna try to travel to all those other planets now to see maybe if they could find coordinates? If there's a theory that all these planets are similar or alike, and go to it?
Well, you would think it makes sense they could go to another one and see if those coordinates are still there.
Still there.
Now that you have the coordinates to, the other 7, I guess the question is, are those other 7 planets now Alderaan fodder? Like, do they even exist anymore, those other planets?
Yeah, are they destroyed, or is it blown up? The whole planet's gone, or is it just a wasteland?
Yeah, if that tower fell, that takes care of those coordinates. It's hard to say.
And there's all sorts of stuff that's happened in the books, which takes place before this in the High Republic, that could have eaten a whole planet. There's this ash thing that eats entire planets. So that even could have happened.
Yeah. Then they find the coordinates for At-Akron, which is the planet that they're on. Then Arsia, Arissia, at Avrin and Avagad. Anyways, they finally find the At-Aten coordinates. What does At stand for? Do we think that has an initials?
I don't know.
Maybe it's the system that those planets are in.
Okay, could be. Like At Walkers is all-terrain armored transport. At AT-AT. So I'm wondering if this At stands for something like ultimate test, and then that's the name of the test or something, or I mean, all of it does make sense, but Start with an A, but or AI, artificial test or something.
Yeah. Well, it could be artificial test. Yeah. I mean, that really could be. I'm interested. I wonder if the second part means anything. I don't know what any of these words mean, right? I don't know what Atten would mean.
Yeah.
If it means anything.
Yeah. So Neil finds one for Atten only just to discover that the coordinates have been blown off. And that's when 33 admits, oh yeah, I did that. I destroyed those coordinates. I remember that part. So Fern asks him, why did you destroy the coordinates to Atten? And SM says, I can't remember no Atten. And it's kind of when she clues in that, well, this droid is doing what he's been told to say anytime Atten is mentioned. So she tells Fern to run a memory override and to remember Atten, which was, I guess, a good idea, but at the same time, it sure as heck wasn't, because now he went into, oh yeah, I remember anyone who questions me or tells me to do a memory override, I'm supposed to rip them apart. I'm supposed to tear them from limb to limb, and starts attacking Fern, and
Neil to the rescue.
Yeah.
Neil tosses a rock, hits him right in the head. The entire room is shocked that it was Neil. You can see the shock on all their faces that Neil threw this rock. Even Neil was shocked that he did it. He was kind of standing there going, by the way, why is Neil dressed up like Stewie Griffin? Is he cosplaying Stewie Griffin, or is this Stewie Griffin with a mask on?
It's pretty close. Actually, speaking of what Neil's wearing, you know how he has a little, have you noticed he has that tape measure on his hip?
He has all sorts of tools around on his belt.
So his tape measure, a friend of mine, Nick Tierce, top level nerd, he has made a sticker decal. If you want to go out and find that exact model of tape measure, you can pay Nick and he will send you a sticker decal for the Arabesh to recreate it so that it's exactly what Neil has.
For your Neil cosplay.
Yes.
Yep.
That's awesome. So
I tell you what, there was a lot of character development, I thought, in this one between Neil and even Fern.
Mm-hmm.
We jump ahead a few minutes into this more into that episode, so I enjoyed that.
Yeah, we got to see Fern struggle and lose her confidence there for a minute, and it was, of all people, whim to pick her up, and that's when she got the idea, I can just do a memory override, which was, like we said, both good and bad. And actually this sequence that we're talking about where SM-33 starts to attack and limb from limb is, as far as I know, one of the first camera shots that looked back and was one of those like track exactly on the face shots. Did you guys notice how that was shot?
Yeah. It was an awkward shot, I thought.
I don't know if it's ever been done in Star Wars, that particular style of shot.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes a little bit of a sense when you see that it's the Daniels that are the directors of this episode, and if you've seen their movie, there's a lot of it. We
talk about the directors in this one. It did have a bit of a different feel to it, but at the same time, it was the same as the other ones. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, you get the different directors. They have their little takes and nuances and how they do things, and you could definitely tell with this episode in the previous one how it was a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
I liked how SM3 just started to grow, made himself look more intimidating.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Like he makes him he's a droid you don't want to mess with.
Yeah, he's big.
Yeah.
Even though he has a big leg and a scratched eye.
What's that, Scott?
Said all you had to do is find the off button.
Yeah, so John's trying to shoot him, and that blaster they gave him is next to useless. I don't know if Neil had it turned off or uncharged it or whatever, because Neil was the one who was carrying the blaster around for some reason. So Jod just runs up to him and shuts off 33, which kind of makes you think Jod could have taken over control of these kids at any time, because he could have just turned, like, the only thing that was preventing Jod from being captain or taking over the ship was SM-33, but he could have just turned off SM-33 at any time and said, okay kids, now what are you going to do? I'm putting you in the brig, whatever, we're finding your planet, I'm taking your treasure. Like he playing along with them almost.
Yeah.
He's pacifying them.
Yeah.
I think he still believes that he needs them in order to get to At-Atten. So I think he's going to stick with them and do what he can to keep them around until he no longer needs them.
Well, my take on this is, I agree with that. He was using them. He's trying to get it, but I think when at the end of it, he's going to come back and he's gonna really care for these kids, because you can gradually see it going on right now.
Yeah.
But seriously, did he have to go rescue them? With the Republic credits, he could have had that, and I think he has enough where he could investigate on his own at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they do get that gigantic breadcrumb of the coordinates of all these other locations, because, I mean, that's where the episode ends, is we're still in that room. Mm-hmm. So I'm assuming that they're going to look at whichever of the planets is closest and try to go there and go to the same place and see if the coordinates are there to At-Atten and then go home. And that's what I would do.
Well, yeah, that just makes logic.
Yeah. But, these shows.
Yeah. Well, they're going to get sidetracked by somebody bumping into them or something.
I mean, the pirates have to show back up.
Oh, yeah. We got the pirates. We got the parents looking for them. Like I said, we got the X-Wing fighters looking for them. Someone's going to find them before they get home.
Yeah.
You would think.
Yeah.
The other thing, too, I forgot to mention this, like when we were talking about how kind of creepy this show was with the kids and the adults. When he buys the kids by trading the OPs back and they want to reward them, and he says, I'll take those 4 little ones. And sure, take them. No question as to why, or are you sure you don't want any hides instead? And, it was just
I didn't think that they were, they have their ship. They can just walk away and go to their ship, right?
You would think, yeah.
Right. It was, again, this was part of, it almost seemed like this entire little Hatfield and McCoy's idea was added on to stretch the episode out. And it seemed like this was the clunky ending of it. And I love Star Wars. I don't dislike this. But this so far was my least favorite of the episodes.
Yeah, it was for me as well. It felt like a side quest.
Yeah.
To
Now, all of that being said, I don't know if I've mentioned this yet. I've been watching each of these episodes with my oldest kid, and she isn't quite 7 yet. And it's the first live action Star Wars that I've been able to share and have her just be enthralled. And it's because of the kids.
Awesome.
She loves it. And we normally watch it on Fridays, because that's when we normally record. And so on Fridays, I watch it with her as sort of like a refresh, and I get to see what she finds funny too. And when, what's that character's name again? Hannah shows up and does that whole little stunt where she kicks in the door.
Yeah.
My daughter was like, "Oh, she's cool."
I thought that was the dorkiest thing when she kicked that door.
Or when she laughed at the
backflip,
and then she's doing the flip across that whatever it was.
She does the slide, even though there's no reason to slide.
Yeah.
But to a kid, like, that is impressive. So anyway, it's a good
Neil
reminder.
Has a bit of a crush on her.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, which is, I think she's a better catch than the one that fish girl he had at the school. Neil just likes any female. Let's face it. It doesn't matter.
Anyone that's giving him a time, give him the time or day. He's falling in love with her.
Yeah. My crazy old man theory. I've been thinking about this, and actually, I was on a Facebook page, and I made a comment about, do you think Wendell is going to have any influence in rescuing the kids? Because when they were showing the parents last week, Patrick, I'm not sure if you listened to last week's episode or not. You weren't here for the recording, but I mentioned how when the parents were panicking about the kids, Wendell was very calm, and they kind of zoomed in on him, and he was kind of thinking, and he takes his glasses off, and he's thinking like he's up to something. He has a plan. He's forming a plan on how to get his son back, as well as the other kids. And I posted that on a Facebook group saying, "Hey, do you think Wendell there's more to him than what we're seeing?" And then somebody said, "Well, is it possible that his wife is still alive, but not on the planet. Like, she got off the planet.
Mm.
And then I said, hey, maybe he's still in contact with her, and he's going to say, hey, our son is lost. Maybe you can ask some questions or do some, maybe you can. So maybe Wynn's mom is going to come into the picture.
Maybe that'd be interesting.
So that's my crazy old man theory.
There's so many ways it could go. Yeah.
Or crazy
that's
old
probably
wizard.
just as plausible as anything I could come up with, and I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just a crazy old wizard, so what do I know?
Scott, what do you think? Do you even like to project and think out?
Oh, generally when I do, I'm totally wrong. So.
Oh, so am I. Yeah.
But no, I kind of, I like to think that he maybe his wife is still alive and he could reach out to her. Maybe he's communicating. That look that he had on his face in that last episode, like the wheels were turning in there. Maybe he knows more what's going on that planet than everybody else. So maybe he has an inside track to go maybe possibly do something. I can see that to a certain degree. I kind of think though, they're gonna find their way back. Then they're gonna attract the pirates and this and that, and then the X-Wings are gonna come involved. I see that more plausible than anything, but who knows?
Yeah,
that's like I said, it's the beauty. We got 4 more episodes to kind of figure it out.
I guess we'll find out within 4 weeks what this is all about. All the breadcrumbs should lead somewhere for us. Yep. Any final thoughts?
I can't. Oh, go for it, Scott.
I'm ready for Tuesday to go see what it brings next. So I want answers, and I want them now.
Yeah. Same here. I agree.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to whatever the next breadcrumb is. With how short the episodes are, I'm assuming that we might land on the next at whatever planet, and then it goes black, right? Like whatever that planet's secret is my guess on what the next cliffhanger will be.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I think we're going to go to the other planet on the next episode.
Yeah, my
or
prediction
2 planets.
We're going to end on a cliffhanger next week.
Oh yeah, of course, yes.
That's how we're going to end.
Well, is Neil going to wake up from his fainting?
Oh yeah, Neil fainted. Yeah, he'll be.
Yeah, he'll be up.
He'll be fine. And with that, Ken, may the force be with you and take us away.
If you have a brilliant idea for a future edition of The Solo Show and would like to take your turn in the guest host's chair, then drop us an email at thesoloshow01@gmail.com. Tell us about your idea for a show and we'll contact you about a date and a time for you to join us. If you would just like to keep the conversation going or have a comment about a previous show, then visit us on Facebook at The Solo Show. Don't forget to join us on YouTube Monday nights at 8 p.m. Central for our live show, where we talk about, just about everything to do with pop culture. Like us and subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell so you'll never miss a new show. All logos, songs, music, and sounds that are made by and for Disney and its affiliates are owned by the Disney Corporation and are not, nor are they intended to be owned by the Solo Show podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.